All right, so contentment, happiness, and satisfaction, we seem to be in either constant or near constant pursuit of these things in some way, either directly or indirectly. And of course, we want to know why. Why do we value these things so much? And to start sort of getting at that question, we want to make sure we understand exactly what the nature of value is. So we want to think about two different types of value: instrumental value and intrinsic value. Things that are said to be instrumentally valuable are things like pens or cars. They're valuable to us, they're worth something to us because we can use them as tools, as instruments to accomplish some goal that we have. And depending on the nature of the goal that we're looking to use these things to help us accomplish, our valuing of them may rise and fall. So if I'm looking for a car to simply get me from my house to my job, and I'm not looking for a car to do much beyond that for me, then maybe my valuing of a car is less than it would be than if I were looking for a car to also increase my social status with my peer group or to impress somebody. And in that case, maybe my valuing of the car goes up. Maybe the value of the car goes up because it becomes worth more to me and I end up buying a more expensive car. Now, the important thing with instrumental value is this. Once the instrumental value is gone, the thing that possessed the instrumental value no longer has any value. Okay, so when the pen doesn't work and I'm only looking for it to serve as a pen, I'm going to get rid of the pen. Okay, because the only value that the pen had for me was in writing things. But if it doesn't function that way anymore, then it doesn't allow me to accomplish what I'm looking to accomplish, and the value of the thing is gone. It's no longer there. So I'm assigning the pen its value. Now, somebody else may come along and say, you know what? I can use that pen to create a garden sculpture or something, let's say. Or I'm in prison, and even though the pen no longer allows me to write notes home, I can now use it as a weapon, and it still has value. But the value that these things have, these are values that we assign. Okay, this is really important. We assign the value to these things. And once that value is gone, the thing no longer possesses value, and we either get rid of it or depend on somebody else to come along and assign it a new kind of value. Now, intrinsic value is really different. I want you to think about this. Why do we value love? Right? Think about that. Do you value love because of what you can do with it? Do you say, like, if I could just find love, I'd be a way better employee and I'd probably get promoted. So I'm going to go look to find love. It's like, no. In fact, if you think about using love in that way, and that's what you're looking for, you're either never going to attain it, or if you do, you're going to lose it. Because by its nature, love isn't something that you would use for some other purpose. Same thing with contentment. Right? You don't use contentment for something. You don't sit down and say, like, okay, damn it, today I'm going to be content because I really want to use that contentment for this project that I have to work on tomorrow. And the same thing will be true of happiness, right? Happiness. We want to be happy for the sake of being happy. We want to be in love for the sake of being in love. These things are valuable for their own sake. And that's what intrinsic value means. It means that the value inheres in the thing itself, not as a result of us having assigned it value. So we want love, and we're talking about, normal, healthy, functioning adults. We want love because we want love. We want contentment because we want contentment. We want happiness because we want happiness, right? So these things that we're in constant pursuit of, we want them for the nature of their value. It's because when we have these things, everything else in our lives improves. Everything. Okay, so love, contentment, happiness, we could probably create a nice laundry list of these things that have intrinsic value to us. So when we're thinking about why do we want contentment, happiness, and satisfaction so much? Well, we want them because they have real value. They have value that doesn't depend on us assigning it. Okay, it's why we want things that are beautiful. We want things that are beautiful, not because we can use beauty. We certainly can, but that's not what we're looking for from the experience of beauty. We want the experience of beauty for what it is. Now, even though things like artwork possess this intrinsic value of beauty, they also possess instrumental value. So there are some things that have only instrumental value, there are some things that have only intrinsic value, and then there are some things that have both. They have both instrumental and intrinsic value. So not only is a work of art, some would argue, valuable because of its inherent quality of beauty that makes it worthy for its own sake, it also has instrumental value because I can use that artwork to do something. I can hang it on the wall as a decoration, or I can sell it and make a boatload of money. We could think of education the same way. It's clear that education has instrumental value. You can do things with it. You can learn a skill that allows you to accomplish a task you wouldn't otherwise be able to accomplish. You can use it to advance your career. But I would argue that education or learning also has intrinsic value. Your life is richer, I believe, better when you have knowledge and abilities than when you don't. Okay? I would even argue that you have intrinsic value. You are useful to others. You're useful to me. When you signed up for my class, each of you, that ensured that I would get paid. Of course, you also have intrinsic value. You have value in and of yourself. You have value even if no one had a use for you. You would think that you still had value to you. There's something about you that has value regardless of the value that others assign to you. And the same is true for me, right? I have instrumental value. You're using me right now, right? But I also have intrinsic value. I don't care if I'm useful to you or not. My life is inherently valuable to me. All right, so when we think about contentment and happiness and satisfaction and what it is about them that draws us to them with such power and causes us to seek them, it's probably because of the nature of their value. They are inherent goods in themselves, regardless of what use we may or may not put them to.